As New York began to rival Paris as the centre of modern art in the years following the Second World War, Britain became a dynamic hub for the transfer of ideas back and forth across the Atlantic. Davie, Patrick Heron, Peter Lanyon and William Scott showed regularly in New York's most cutting-edge galleries, whilst Roger Hilton found acclaim for his unique work in Europe. Patrick Heron's atmospheric strata, painted in 1958, and his grey and yellow with circle, painted in 1959. They have that feel, the ambition, the scale, the scope. What makes them remarkable is that they were painted in St Ives, a small fishing village on the westernmost tip of Britain. St Ives occupies a really interesting position in the history of post-war British art. It's our equivalent in a way to Long Island for the New York School. Davie's study for the White Magician is part of a very strong group of Davie's work. For Davie, the artist was a modern equivalent of the tribal shaman. His work is full of mystical symbols, elusive semi-figurative shapes. In 1948, Davie had a work in an exhibition in Venice, and Peggy Guggenheim saw it and bought it, invited the young painter to her house where he saw works from her collection, including New York School abstract expressionists such as Pollock and Rothko. This experience of American art was just reaffirming that the path on which he had already embarked had real potential. William Scott's Blue and Black Still Life is a classic work of the 1960s, holding an exquisite tension between figuration and abstraction. William Scott met many of the New York School abstract expressionists, and in particular struck up a fantastic friendship with Mark Rothko. They had met in 1953 through the New York gallerist Martha Jackson. When Scott arrived in September, Jackson immediately invited him out to Long Island, where she was spending the summer along with a coterie of New York School artists, including Pollock, de Kooning and James Brooks. When Rothko visited Scott in August '59, he was stopping on his way down to stay with Peter Lanyon in St Ives. In their 3 days in St Ives, Rothko and his wife became fully immersed in the local scene, drinking, dancing, hopping from one painter's studio to another. The immediate post-war period was defined by an exchange of ideas across oceans, and most importantly, through the close friendships forged between artists who, in Hilton's unforgettable phrase, submitted themselves entirely to the unknown, like a man swinging out into the void.